As we saw last November at Survivor Series War Games, CM Punk finally made his long-awaited return to the WWE, which sent shockwaves throughout the wrestling industry. But how did we get here? How did we get back to CM Punk in the WWE? All Elite Wrestling did what most thought was impossible in 2021 when they signed CM Punk to a multi-year deal. But as wrestlers within and fans outside saw for themselves, Punk wasn't coming without any controversy. And now, over 2 years after his iconic debut, Punk is now with WWE. CM Punk made his AEW debut in August of 2021, which sent instant shockwaves throughout the wrestling business, as Punk hadn't done anything wrestling related in over 7 years. Punk's debut attracted over 1.1 million viewers on TV, and till this day is the highest viewership Rampage has done. Punk, being the star he is, gave fans the perception that he would instantly shoot to the top and get a title shot. But nope, Punk for his first few months only went up against mid-carders and young up-and-comers, which led to Punk having matches with the likes of Darby Allin, Hobbs, Penta, Max Caster, Matt Sydal, Daniel Garcia, and a lot more. But these wrestlers were just the beginning of what was to come. Punk would enter his first real rivalry and program with AEW fan favorite and veteran Eddie Kingston. The feud between Kingston and Punk began in late October, leading to a match at AEW Full Gear, which was Punk's second match on pay-per-view for the company. The roots of their feud can be traced back to a backstage altercation between Kingston and Punk, which occurred 15 years prior to the runs in AEW. The details of this altercation have never been fully disclosed, but it did nothing but add a layer of tension to a feud that is regarded as one of AEW's best ever. The two would clash 2 weeks later at Full Gear, and although short, the match was great. It saw both men take some crazy moves until one simply couldn't kick out of the next one, and it truly set the bar for what to expect from a CM Punk rivalry in AEW. After a great first rivalry, Punk showed he fit right in with the company, and the fans showed that as well, as AEW instantly saw a boost in ratings, attendance, and merchandise. Punk would later enter a feud with none other than MJF. And this feud, start to end, is genuinely one of AEW's best rivalries to date. From unskippable promo segments to a crazy bloodbath dog collar fight, this rivalry had it all. The feud lasted several months and without a doubt helped MJF into star status, as if you fast forward today, MJF is probably AEW's most popular homegrown wrestler. Unfortunately, Punk's next chapter in his AEW run was capturing the AEW World title. And I say unfortunately because this really is where things take a hard left turn. After stacking up his record and defeating multiple big names in the company, it was time to contend for a title. But not just any title, the World title. And while all this was going on, Hangman Adam Page was having a reign of his own with the title, which provided some great matches with the likes of Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson. But with the CM Punk experiment going so well, we had to see Punk with the title. Punk and Page's feud will begin in late April and carried over to the Double or Nothing pay-per-view in May. The build-up saw both men engage in petty nonsense and eventually boiled over to Hangman going off script on live TV and basically blaming Punk for his friend Colt Cabana not being used on television. Fast forward a few weeks later, and CM Punk defeats Adam Page and becomes the AEW World title. Then, tragedy struck. On the next episode of Dynamite, Punk was scheduled in a 3v3 tag with FTR vs the Gun Club. And dating back to his first few appearances in AEW, CM Punk was sometimes jumping the crowd and hug the fans, and he had the same idea for his first Dynamite as champ. But that's not what went down. Unfortunately, Punk jumped and landed in the crowd and broke his ankle on the railing. The injury led to some pretty bad botches in the match, and to the shock of all, forced Punk to relinquish his newly won AEW World title. Kinda. We got an interim title in Jon Moxley, who pretty much put the company on his back during this time. Punk would make his return once again in August and was looking to defend his status as world champion. So 2 weeks before All Out, we see Punk go up against Moxley in an undisputed AEW world title match on free TV. The match saw Jon Moxley win in just 3 minutes and had literally everyone speechless. This was meant to cement Moxley's reign as world champ and basically not make the matches beforehand mean nothing, which kinda makes sense. And remember when I said Hangman went off script on the build up to Double or Nothing? Cause CM Punk definitely did. While on the ring with the mic on the build up to All Out, Punk out of nowhere calls out Hangman to come out. And Hangman, having nothing to do with this TV program, obviously isn't going to come out. Fast forward to All Out where Punk gets his rematch with Moxley. The two have a great match that is honestly underrated and overshadowed by what's to come. In this match, Punk will end up tearing his bicep on a dive to the outside, and somehow this is just the beginning. Punk would end up winning his title back, and we would see a returning MJF confront Punk and surprisingly get cheered over Punk in his hometown of Chicago. But I wish that was the end. Later at the All Out post conference, Punk would go insane and talk his shit. He would go into detail how Hangman went off script for no reason and how he has nothing to do with Cabana and wants nothing to do with him. He would also go into detail how the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega shouldn't be EVPs, and if anyone has a problem, they could come up to him and say something. And that's exactly what happened. CM Punk, The Elite, and Ace Steel were all involved in a fight that saw everyone involved get suspended. The Elite would return in November to challenge for the Trios title, and CM Punk would have no choice but to sit at home and rehab his injury. Until June 2023, where Punk made yet another return, but this time on AEW's brand new 2-hour show, Collision. And essentially for the first 10 episodes, this was Punk's show. It may sound like an exaggeration, but no, for real. The roster and main characters were pretty much mostly Punk guys, and I'll be the first to admit, it was dope. The show, especially with Punk forefronting, in my opinion, just felt right, and at times felt so different and better than Dynamite. And I was actually lucky enough to even go to one of these shows. I ended up seeing CM Punk and Darby Allin team up versus Christian Cage and Ricky Starks in what was a great experience, but unfortunately, good things never last. At AEW All In, AEW's biggest show ever, CM Punk will get into another fight. Not even 2 months after his return, he would get into some type of scuffle with Jack Perry, as we all know since it was literally posted on Dynamite, literally moments before he was scheduled to open the show with Samoa Joe. The match did go on as planned, in my opinion was the match of the night, but as a result of Punk's actions, he was fired by AEW, which left the door wide open for WWE to come swooping by. And they did. Punk's debut at the end of Survivor Series was WWE's most watched moment ever. And like Punk said on his first Raw back, and what he should have said in AEW, he's not there to make friends, he's there to make money. If you enjoyed this video, just let me know down in the comments, like this video, and subscribe. Most of you guys watching are not subscribed, and I have no idea why, but I'll see you on the next one. Peace.